nobody in the back with cue cards. I don't know what he's saying. Well, hello again. I'm Dan, that's Lizzie. And tonight we're going to do like game, food. But we're using the air fryer, and we're going to do chicken wings. I told some of the people earlier it's going to be liver and onions. They're about ready to walk out. So we're going to do chicken wings in the air fryer, and I already got them going because it takes a little while. So I cooked a bunch before I came here, and then cleaned everything up, and I'm cooking the rest of them. And so that's the best part, because we get to eat them. And then the wings, I pre-mixed everything up on the wings, just so I didn't have to bring a ton of stuff tonight. And actually it's pretty easy, just some flour and baking powder. I said baking soda, I think, last week, but it's baking powder. But we got the recipes here, so also. But for my wings, I just use baking, like half cup baking powder, quarter cup of flour, some salt and pepper, and then whatever seasoning I just happen to grab. But I got Cajun seasoning on these, not a lot.
They're not spicy.
And but just put a little kick to them. And but then I just throw it all in a baggie, like a shake and bake. And it's easy to do. I saved some of them out just for demonstration purposes, just to show you how much flour don't really stick on them. But well, I just put everything in here, all my seasonings, and then I set my air fryer at 400 and got it preheated. And while it was preheating, then I done the wings, and then you just take them and throw them in there. Oh, and I diced them up, cut them apart, so you got your little wingettes. But I always leave the little things on because they're crunchy, and I gnaw on them.
Can you do them in your oven?
Yes, you can, and on the grill.
Okay. Oh,
Yep, the grill or the oven, and either one works. Or you can even throw them in a Fry Daddy, and that works. And this is how I just season them. Makes it easy. Or else if you had a bad day, you can think it's somebody else. But yeah, then they just come out, they're no clumps, no nothing. And then there's some pepper in there.
It's that Cajun stuff.
Yeah. And then, but to make these, and then I did have them all padded dry at home, and because then they'll help. They brown better if your meat is drier. And so then I put them on a plate or else on a cookie cooling rack. And then, but wait about 15 minutes before you put them in, because then all that stuff just soaks in the skin and takes out more of the moisture. And then spritz them with oil. And I got my handy dandy pan, but it's not pan in there, it's just corn oil right now. And then you just spritz that until all the flour is damp, meat is damp. But if you let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, most of it is already, because what moisture is left in there, it just sucks it up. So then it makes it crispy.
I have a question.
And yes.
Have you ever used cornstarch in that? I heard that
Yes.
was crispy.
Yeah. And this time I used baking baking powder. I was gonna say baking soda, but it's baking powder. It's been one of them days today. And, yeah, and so then I put it in. Oh, it finally hit the temperature and started. But I cheat when it's preheating, I throw them in, so then it just speeds up the cooking time. And then I put the wings in for 20 minutes, and then when it's done, then I rotate them and put them in for 15 to 20 more minutes. But if you got a smaller one, a basket one, it takes like 18 minutes and they're done total. And just because the heat's more concentrated.
Not turning them or anything?
Yeah, I'll turn them
Okay.
halfway through. And for that part, it's done. And we already have some cooked, and I'll just nuke them, or I eat them cold, but I'll just nuke them and put a little heat back to them. But then we'll have these also. See, that's the best part about this. You get to eat. And without a full crowd, there's more. So that's the chicken wings, and then I done burnt ends. I brought them. I forgot about them. The guy called me on the phone, and they're good, but they shrunk. But they're good. Well, I think they are.
I thought they were good.
And so, and then I use chuck roast instead of using brisket, because brisket is so expensive, so I just use chuck roast. And if I had some pork belly, I was going to use that, but I didn't have any pork belly. And Fairway was already closed. And so I didn't get that, but that recipe's on here too. So, but then we're going to do a couple dressings for the chicken wings or whatever else you like. But I got a blue cheese one, what I made, and Elizabeth's going to talk you through that,
Yeah.
or attempt. But then she has her own recipe for dips. And everybody here like blue cheese or hate it? But if you hate it, that's awesome, because that's more for me. That's how I'm looking at that one. So, any questions like on the chicken wings? Oh, you can use breast and everything, the same. Legs, thighs.
If you were doing a breast or a thigh, would you take the skin off?
No, I love the skin. Yeah.
He's a skin-lean
Yeah.
person.
Okay.
The breast, do you have to cut in strips or anything? Or
No.
You can do both.
Yeah. Yeah. The thicker they are, if they aren't on a bone, I would cut them in half the long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because then it doesn't take as long to cook. But other than that, any other questions?
What's your background in cooking? Are you at a restaurant or?
No,
No.
no.
He should.
I'm a
Food Network can recruit him.
I'm a backyard cooker.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I just dabble in it a lot. Yeah, I cooked for a couple different, for part-time job, a couple different retirement places.
Oh.
It started off just a weekend deal, and then it got, yeah, then it wasn't fun anymore. So, I'll let Lizzie take over on her recipe.
I'm using Dad's blue cheese recipe. So we're just gonna go with the Dan Lake
Yeah.
language here. So we mixed it up at home because there's a lot that already went into it. For his, he does 3/4 cup of mayo, 3/4 cup of sour cream, about 1/2 cup of milk, a tablespoon of lemon juice.
Slow down.
They'll be-
I say they'll be online too.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, so mayo and sour cream, milk, tablespoon of lemon juice, about 1.5 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, however you pronounce that.
Yes.
1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. He has written down 1/2 cup of blue cheese, but he would probably use more than that if he could. Salt and pepper to taste, and then fresh chives to taste. So we mixed everything up in here. It kind of tastes like ranch, in my opinion, before you add the blue cheese.
That's
Do you use this whole thing?
No, just 3/4. And then this, I like this better than Maytag blue cheese. Pronounce that.
I can't pronounce that.
Oh, it's Belgushi or something like that. I'm not French, so, or Italian. But I like this stuff better than Maytag. And it's just really, really good. And then the next day, of course, this tastes even better once it sets all day. Yeah, but now I just mixed everything all up in here. I don't know if you can see that, but it is really good. Just even without the cheese.
Tastes like ranch without the cheese.
Then yep, take a chunk and then crumble it up. Oh, that's good. You don't want too small pieces.
The master.
I have a question.
And
That doesn't taste like, I mean, is it, I remember having it years ago, it's not, doesn't taste like liver or cheese, does it?
no,
Okay, it's not that strong.
no, no.
If I eat it, then it's okay. Because I don't like blue cheese. Goat cheese. Oh, no, it's not like goat cheese.
No, it's a lot
That's the
milder
way it looks.
than goat cheese.
Why is it called blue cheese?
Because there is blue mold. But this mold, it isn't like if your cheese gets moldy, you can't cut that off and still eat the cheese. And I'm a proven fact of that because I've done it and I still got really sick from the cheese.
Leave it to you to do that.
But blue cheese, just the way it's made, yeah, you can eat it. I'll put more.
Okay.
Attaboy.
It's kind of like garlic. You can never get enough. Well, I can't. And then, plus this is good on whatever you eat on a salad or celery, carrots, broccoli, even plain crackers. Just dip it in and eat it.
She says no.
It's the only blue cheese dip I'll eat because I'm not a fan of blue cheese, but
Yeah, and then just mix it all up and, yeah, it is. I should have brought,
and then he wonders where I get my sass from.
She doesn't whisper very well.
I should have brought salad for this instead, but yeah.
It'll be good. That one is good, watery. Watery.
So you do yours.
Okay.
It's kind of a casual thing tonight. I'm out of energy. I'm not full like normal.
It's because it's a Monday. Okay, so then for the one I'm doing, I just call it like a mustard maple glaze. My boyfriend and I make it at home. We put it on we'll bake chicken and coat it in that. So this can be a dip or you toss your wings in it. But we use honey mustard and maple syrup. Typically if we're like doing like a little glaze, we'll do 4 tablespoons of each, but since there's like a group tonight, I'm gonna make a little bit more than that. So I just do equal parts of honey mustard and maple syrup. I'm gonna do like, I'm just gonna do like 1/3 of a cup for each. We'll go out half. We'll do half a cup. You can also use Dijon mustard, we've done that too, but we found that we like the honey mustard better. And then, I call this the Dan Lake method, where you just kind of eyeball it and say you have a recipe. Yeah, so, okay, that looks good. Alright, and then just kind of mix it up. Yeah. What? I'm already using a spoon. So then, it's really super duper simple, and then salt and pepper to taste, but that's all it is. We like to put it on like baked chicken. That's kind of where we started the recipe at. We're baking chicken, and we would put it on that, and then it kind of transformed into, oh, let's use it as a dip. And then tonight, brainstorming with Colin the other night, he's like, you should do that mustard maple one that we do. So you can dip it or you can glaze them. It works either or. And then just salt and pepper to taste. And you can do more or less of the other, especially with Dijon. I do a little less Dijon than I would here, but the recipe is you simply just like equal parts and it works out. And that's all there is to that one. So super duper simple. Easier than Dad's. But his blue cheese is good though, because it's the only blue cheese I'll eat. But then again, a lot of foods I don't eat, I only eat his recipe, so that says something. So,
Except for liver and onions.
yeah, no. No. Not me. So that's how he was happy when I moved out, because then he could make liver and onions and I wouldn't complain about it. So yeah, and then like that. I'm done.
Cool.
Cool. Does anyone have questions for either of us? No? Cool.
I have a comment for you.
What?
You could use white Worcestershire sauce too if you want to keep your dip a little whiter.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's white wine Worcestershire sauce. I've used it in other dips that are made with sour cream, cream cheese, mayo, and if you add the Worcestershire sauce, it makes it turn brown. But you can find the white Worcestershire sauce as well, so it doesn't turn brown.
I didn't know they had white.
I didn't know it either until I found it for a recipe.
Interesting. Thanks, Mom.
I have a question for Dan.
Yes.
Did I see you put foil in the microwave?
No, I pulled it out and I took the foil off before I started.
Because I was like, I thought you couldn't cook like, okay.
I almost started it with the foil on.
Oh, okay, because I was like, maybe they sell foil now, like, but I don't know.
And, yeah. If it was closer to the 4th of July, I probably would have left it in there.
Oh, Daniel.
Okay, so those you cooked for 20 minutes and then you rotated in 20 more minutes?
Yes,
Okay. Gotcha.
yes, and, yeah, these turned out better because my flour mixture sat a lot longer on them. And it's because my other ones, I got home and rushed, but, oh, they're good too. But yeah, just sweet and simple and easy. Any other questions?
Did you find all those chicken wings at Fairway this time?
I got them in Dubuque. Walmart hasn't had them for 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And I checked Manchester. I'm working in Dubuque. So I stopped at Manchester Walmart and they never had any. So then I went to Dubuque, and so over lunch I ran to Walmart and they had tons of them. So, yeah, and I don't know why, but that's just what it was. So, now this here is the better part of the thing, because now you get to taste and eat. You want to add anything? But, so if you do like dip and sauce, you know, you can use this. If you don't use it.
They're good plain too, so,
Yeah. Yeah. And,
which says a lot.
so, and I didn't put much Cajun in them, so, not
He
my
didn't.
normal amount. So, they'll be normal. So, I guess that is it.
I love them both. Bonnie, you gonna try it?
Well, did you get some yet?
Then I found these extra long toothpicks at Fairway.
Chicken jumbo?
As I drop them.
Dad, we forgot the burnt ends.
Yeah.
Not gonna do.
Hi, guys.
The only thing about the blue.
Instead of making us, we'll just call you back.
Okay.
Yeah. Not yet.
The only thing bad about the blue cheese is you gotta have a fork to get the chunks.
Daniel.
That's what the celery's for.
Mm-hmm. Not enough heat for me, but.
Like spicy?
Mm-hmm.
I did that pizza that time.
Not too floury.
I told you they were good.
Go on, Bonnie, we're waiting for you to get some, try it, and you can try it. Make sure we're not gonna die.
No, no.
You guys all try it first. It really smells wonderful.
It is good. It is very good.
Very good. Can I just hire you guys to be my chef?
There you go, Dad.
I thought it was gonna be like celery or like
Mhm.
chips. Good chef, very good.
I also just ate onion rings, if you're willing to have one.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That would be good. Lizzie, that is really good. You like that? That's really good.
Thank you.
I've never used this stuff like that. Easy.
It's so easy.
You're like,
Are you still filming me eating?
Yes.
As I'm using my fingers for the blue cheese.
It's nice to get, and when there's questions asked, it's nice to have
Oh,
answers.
I've got to go back and go back. I know.
We have an editor.
Michelle.
Yes.
blacken my face out and it'd be.
She messaged me last edit she was doing for last month's edit, and she goes, "Oh, I'm just cracking up in my seat." I'm like, "Oh my god."
So did anybody taste like the flour in it? 'Cause sometimes it doesn't.
No.
Give me a couple more and I'll see.
So what's the point of the baking powder?
It gets like these, it gets them crispier. A lot of people, what I've seen, they don't even use the flour, they just use
Baking powder.
the baking
Yeah.
powder. Somebody took my paper.
Oh, sorry, it's over on the,
I don't know. It wasn't me.
She used to make copies.
Baking powder, yes. Yeah, and then they just use, just the baking powder. And then it, I don't know what it does, but it must help draw some of the moisture off and make it crispy. But I always add flour because then it goes farther. And on the instructions for the wings, I just see, 11:30 last night, I was a little tired. But I put on here, set timer for 25 minutes, flip wings after 12 minutes. It should have stated, set timer for 20 minutes, and then flip them and do it for 20 minutes more.
Okay.
But in a basket, though, this would be the right way to do it if you had the basket type, because them cook so much faster than
I'm not done.
with the racks.
Yeah, it's the same, it's just a big tall bag.
And you also
And-
said you spray them after you.
Yes, yeah, after I see like how they aren't white anymore because it sucked it all, the flour sucked the remaining moisture, and then I spray them down and then flip them over and spray them. And not so they're dripping, just so
Yeah.
it's just covered with, lightly covered with oil, and then put them in and start
You could do
cooking.
that if you had a basket instead of a
Right,
grill.
yeah, yeah, and then put them in on a single layer.
Right.
Yeah, and then with the basket type, this is, you would use the directions here. So, any other questions or ideas? Or what would you like to see done? See, we don't have an oven here or a stove top. That's the bummer part. I was gonna buy one of them electric little, hot plates. And so I'm doing some research right now on them, electric or get the little propane one. But the electric ones, you gotta have a certain kind of pan to activate it.
Thank you.
And I forget what that was called.
Actually, I have some in the car, I forgot to do.
Like your glass top stoves, some of them take a certain pan.
Flat bottom.
Yeah, and then there's something in the pan also to help activate it. Oh, so my Wolfgang pots and pans won't work on one.
Last time we were here, you said you put a little bit of water in the bottom of the basket type. Would you have to for the chicken too?
No, no. I do that like with fish or vegetables,
Okay.
just to help
Steamer.
steam them. Yeah. But, does anybody here have Instapots?
I do. I don't use it
Yeah.
much, but-
Yeah, we've done a few of them, and so we're thinking about maybe doing another one on Instapots. Yeah, and I did beef and noodles or chicken and noodles
Beef
in
and
one of
noodles.
them. And then we just done everything here from start to finish, because that only took 25 minutes. And some people think because you say Instapot that it's instant, you know.
I mean, you would think.
Yeah. I did corned beef a couple times in mine, and it took like 2.5 hours, but then it was literally, it just fell apart,
Yeah.
and it was really, really good.
So you do all the cooking at your house?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. When I get bored or if I'm really stressed from work, people can tell because they'll come over and there's all kinds of food that's cooked.
Typically on Sundays.
Or a ton of it's prepped, ready to be cooked. That's my de-stress.
You need to quit your job and do catering.
You'd be good at it.
Yeah, we used to do barbecue competitions together, and
Who
Yeah.
won? Who won?
she did. Yeah, she got second, but at the fair we got in first and second quite a few times. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did you do chili cook-offs?
Yes, and chili cook-offs. Yep. And
Makes good chili.
chicken and noodle cook-offs we done.
Macaroni and cheese here at the.
Macaroni
Oh, yeah,
and
mac and
cheese
cheese.
here at the library, we had that. And I'm not bragging, but we smoked them.
Okay, do you share your chicken and noodle recipe?
It changes every time, but yeah. No. See, I buy like either the whole chicken or I'll use chicken thighs with the bone and the skin and cook that down. And then I just use the same water and then I throw my frozen noodles in that, and then I don't drain that at all. And then I like rosemary and thyme, so I use a lot of that. Sometimes too much for some people, but yeah, that. And if I want some heat, I go to my Cajun seasoning. And yeah, but and then if it's not thick enough, then I use cornstarch in that, and then thicken that up, and then make mashed potatoes. It's weird, but then make mashed potatoes and put my chicken and noodles over mashed potatoes.
He also does a really good chicken pot pie.
Oh yeah. I experimented like 4 or 5 weekends in a row with chicken pot pie. And
Welcome to the Dan Lee household.
yeah. But I don't got that to where I really like it yet, but it's good. I think.
Can you explain the taste of rosemary? What does it taste like? I mean,
Oh.
like, is it thyme that is kind of yellow and people put it in noodles?
No,
With rosemary?
that's turmeric you're probably thinking of.
Oh, yeah, that's
If-
right, yeah,
if
yeah.
that's how you say that word.
Yeah, is it a sweet seasoning or is it?
No, it's, I don't know.
It's earthy.
Yeah, it's earthy, like,
Oh, okay,
mushroom.
okay, okay.
but yeah,
Mostly used on chicken.
yeah.
Well, you guys are pretty smart. You taught me something.
Gadgets, I would call them, the stuff that help in the maintenance, yeah.
Any other questions?
Oh, the recipes are on the table.
Yep, there should be
Yeah.
a set of recipes for everybody, if you'd like.
There's 2 pages, so make sure when you pick it up, you've got both pages.
Yeah, because they're printed front and back,
Okay,
conserving paper.
yes. Good idea.